Yes and no. I very much think about this. Is it important what I do?
What wind brought you there? Hello.
Hi.
Today's visit is in the studio of Paula Tella, who is a Helsinki-based artist who uses different mediums in her work. But you can tell us a bit more.
Yeah. It depends on the project very much, and but I've been working with painting, sculpture, video, and very different environments and very different contexts.
I saw that you have some performances as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, also.
Yeah.
And then like some live art. I think it's because I'm so curious person, so it's like when I see something I get quite excited, and that's also my problem because I get excited about everything. So it's like
not enough time.
It's not enough time in one life.
I'm very curious about the combination of hair and Orthodox icons.
Oh, okay.
Really, what is that?
It's like I started painting these icons a couple of years ago.
There's so many rules about how you should be doing them.
Yeah, I thought I never could do it, but when I was a child, I saw this film. What is called this Tarkovsky's film about this monk, Andrei Rublev.
Mm.
So, and then I thought, I don't know why, I thought because it's quite cruel film, I thought I want to paint icons, and a couple of years ago I started that, but that's the main thing or the main reason somehow why I'm doing it. My uncle was Orthodox also, so I've got a kind of connection.
Mm.
Yeah, but it's also kind of meditative work, I like it.
But the hair? Or is it just a coincidence that they are together with the hair?
It's a kind of coincidence. I just put it there because, but I've been working with hair. It was when I was maybe 25, 26 years ago or something like that. I was a bit ill and my hair was falling off. And then I thought, okay, maybe I could save my hair. And I did it, so it was kind of a difficult situation, and I was very afraid of saving my hair because since I was a kid I had a long hair, so it was like a big change for me. But it was also so liberating, and the feeling of my body and kinetics and everything moved so much. Or changed, maybe movement is not, but it's changed so much. It was so nice experience. That time I didn't do any work, but I saved the hair. I put it in an envelope, and I have saved my hair quite many times after that, and sometimes for the sculpture. And this is from one performance where people did cut my hair.
Are you connecting them with some? Because I know that there are people who work with hair and they connect that to femininity, because it's especially important for women usually.
Yeah, and there are many different connections. They are connected to religion, and they are connected to shame and punishment, and it's quite many levels about hair. Yeah. So, but this is kind of accident, but I like this accident somehow. So.
I mean, many things get discovered through an accident.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, by mistake. It's often you think, oh, this is horrible, or this, I really destroyed this. But when you give some time, maybe you can find something through that.
How did you end up at all here, like being an artist?
One thing what I remember when I was my very small child, I lived with my grandmother, and she said, oh, you should be an artist. And I think maybe I was about 5 years old or something like that. And I think that's the first, like a seed, what came to me. And it's been growing somehow, but it's very difficult to explain why. But what I've been interested always, since I was a child, drawing, thinking, doing things, and theater, literature, dance, everything. All kind of, but always connected to art. All the things I'm really interested in is connected to art.
Do you have other artists in your family, or?
No, my background is very working class, and my mother really didn't understand about my interest of these arts, and she always said you have to go to this, you have to get proper job or to be a nurse or something. And my father wanted me to get to engineering.
My grandmother wanted me to go to administration.
Okay.
Because that's a secure job.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I understand this really somehow very well, but yeah, it's difficult.
But there was your grandmother who was...
Yeah, somehow. She died
supporting you in that?
Yeah, she died when I was 9 years old. But there was something she put into me, this thought is like that is possible. But I went to study, actually, I'm a dressmaker. When I was 18, I was qualified dressmaker.
And then you studied sculpture afterwards?
Yeah.
How does that happen, this transition from clothes to sculpture?
Oh, it's a long transition, actually. When I was doing this dressmaking, I was working actually in a factory for a couple of years, but then my hands got so sore and bad, and I quit that. But I was at the same time I was studying in an evening school, and they did graphics and some paintings in that school. I went there after work, like maybe 2 or 3 days during the week, and that was kind of kick. But I never thought I could be an artist. I always dreamt about it being an artist, but somehow I was living in a small city and there was nothing. It wasn't an option to be an artist somehow. And
then how did you go for the sculpture?
Yeah, that's a question. Then I went to, this long story. Then when I was in this evening school, I applied to Lahti. It was the Institute of Fine Arts. And then I got there. I was there for 4 years, and then I was working as an artist after that, couple of years. And in some point of my work got that direction that it was more three-dimensional, and I never done that kind of thing. And it was always so much problems how I solve this, how I do this, and it took so long time. And then I thought I want to study this sculpture because I want to get the techniques, or some techniques. Of course, it's so wide area, you don't get all the techniques, but something. When you're curious and when you do different things, it's not one way of doing. It's not one way of thinking when you work. It can be very various ways of doing things. Sometimes it's like. It's about vision, or sometimes it's some embodiment where you start, or something you hear, or something you think, or something you read, or the music, how it affects you.
So would you say that your work is more expressive than conceptual?
It's conceptual also, somehow, some of the works, but not all. It's kind of processes I work, and when I have done some work, I quite often forget that. If somebody asks me what you've been thinking about when you were doing this, I don't really remember anymore, because it's like a process. But it's always connected to my life.
What are you working on at the moment?
At the moment, I'm still doing this painting, ink paintings, mixed with the watercolors, and also I have started thinking about one thing we are going to do with this Pirkka-kerho group, the one public work in school. It's going to be 2 days performance, a couple of hours each day. So I'm working on that. I'm thinking of that quite a lot. The choreography and movement, and also the clothing, all the clothes, what we're going to make and what we're going to use with the materials and things like that, and how it's going to work in a space. And
do you do for a performance? Do you do some sort of a sketch before that, or is everything in your head and in the practice?
In some cases, but sometimes it can be. If you improvise, then it's improvise. But sometimes you do sketch and you think what you do before, and there is kind of plan and maybe the choreography also, because it helps you in a situation also.
So you said at the moment you are also doing some paintings?
Yeah. is about nature and space and meditation and blending into things and blending into nature. But the whole series is called One with Nothing. The holes in the structures of existence. I work with the ink first and then I carry on with some watercolor. It's something I walk in the nature and kind of chew in. Of course I look, feel, sense the air, sense the moisture, wind, everything what you can sense. And maybe here, and then when I come to studio I just try to get into that motion and feeling. And
have you tried to do it plein air, like outside?
I don't want to.
No?
Because I don't want to do it because I want to. I think it's like meditating the landscape, meditating.
You wanted to go first through you and then.
Yeah, and I want to like get involved. I want to get in to the landscape, to be the kind of to be the same with the landscape somehow.
Okay.
And part of the landscape, and after that there is an emotion or there is some kind of sensation in my body, and that's what I try to paint.
Do you have some upcoming events, or are you more focused on the work now?
Both. There is this performance coming to Pori in this school somewhere. I don't remember the name of the school. In a few months' time, I'm doing that, but also I want to focus the work. But we have an exhibition at the moment in Original Galleria with some.
Until when is it?
I think was it 19th, next week.
Well,
yeah,
it's gonna be over by the time this gets released.
Yeah, it's called Suhde. It's relation, and there are 4 of us. So, but I have this sound piece there and some photos. Maybe 1 year time there is other exhibition, bigger exhibition coming in Imatra Art Museum. So I'm working for that. And it's
Imatra Museum.
Yeah, Imatra Art Museum.
Okay.
So it's a small museum in the countryside. But it's nice. It's my hometown actually, so it's nice to go and exhibit there.
Do you have specific ways of how you get into the work, or does it also depend on the project?
It depends very much on the project also. But with painting it's like I sit and be quiet for some time and look maybe and feel, and then I start doing when I'm ready. It's quite
so
silent work somehow.
Focus first.
Focus and take time to just. I don't rush into it, but it needs to settle down. But I think with all of the work, it's like I need to settle down somehow. But there are different ways, and when you work with a group, then it's totally different.
That for sure. Yeah.
And there's so much talking involved and practicing and rehearsing and things like that. So,
how do you sustain your work, your practice? Are you a full-time artist, or?
Sorry?
Are you a full-time artist, or do you do other things as well?
No, now I'm kind of full-time artist, but I teach a little bit of yoga. So, but not much. But I'm very happy because I've got a grant at the moment, but I've been working in very many different places. I've been working with the latest works I've been doing is like been working with the prison Sörnäisten vankila in this prison with the
oh wow.
Yeah, and then some immigrants doing mainly refugees and all kind of things, cleaning, whatever comes to.
Yeah.
Because you need the money.
Definitely.
I've been doing maybe 50, 60 different types of works, and some year I have 12 different employers. And I was doing maybe even I think maybe 3-4 different works for one employer. So it's like it's been really hectic and mixed and been difficult to find the time to do the art. But yeah.
Do you involve your friends or family somehow in the art otherwise?
I've been doing this photo series called Holy Water. It's like pissing ladies in a landscape, and they do it in when they're standing, because it's the male way of doing thing. So then I involved people. I asked people, would you enjoy to this work? And we go to the nature and we spend there some hours, and then I take some photos. So then I involved, but then it's like they're not my family or they can be my friends, but not particularly has to be my friends.
Well, there has to be some sort of a trust at least.
Yes.
So that you...
Yeah.
Hello, can I take a photo while you piss in the
Yes,
nature?
I know, yeah, that's true, yeah. But the people I have asked, I have, many of them there are some dancers and there are some actors, and I've been working with those people. And then there is a kind of trust already, so it's easy to do that thing with them. But there's been also people I hadn't met before, so then we met and then we talk and I explained what I'm doing and then we did it. So, and they can decide do you trust me or what do you think about this process. But most of the people I have asked have said yes. Maybe one said no, or two actually. Because you have
how many do you have in that series?
I have about 14. Yeah, I like to involve people also, because then it's also you learn so much and it's a nice learning process for yourself. And then I also did this meditation series when I asked people to come and meditate at my home. And then I photoed them. It was like one photo before they started, and then I took pictures when they meditate, and then after when they came out of the meditation. So
were they two different, the pictures, or were they similar?
Definitely there is a difference and big change when you start and when you do, and when you are in a meditation and after meditation, because it's like what you call it, it's like a liminal space somehow. You're not really here, but you look at it's interesting. I
did notice when I was checking your work in your website that you work a lot with the body.
Yeah, that is a good actually what you said, because it's the embodiment is the something you could describe somehow. My work becomes from that. It starts from that somehow.
So there is a common.
There is some team actually, yeah, something. I just try to go around it, but yeah, but that is something, yeah.
Was that always around your work, or did you somehow, at some point, go into that?
Somehow maybe, but I actually didn't realize that before. I think it has been there in kind of like a hidden way.
Have you ever been in some sort of a creative blockage when you...
Yes, of course. Of course. Yeah.
It's not of course, some people say they haven't been.
Okay. Yeah, of course I have been. It's like, yeah, it comes and it goes, but yeah, it's horrible when you feel like it's nothing.
But how do you deal with it?
I deal with it, maybe I read a book, watch a good film, or do something else. I often read when I get this feeling, but then I get also like, oh shit, I can't do this because I have to do more or something, and then I just start from somewhere. But I think it's very much about like this coming down and just like settling. Okay, I'm here, what I do, what I want to do, and just also very much this embodiment experience, how I'm in my body, and okay, what I really want to do, is it important? And of course I very much think about this, is it important what I do? is useless? This is always this question. Is
important for who? Useless for who?
Yeah. For me, for other people, could I use my time to do some better? But this is something like it's a big fight sometimes.
Okay, let's move to the studio part.
Okay.
There are several studios here.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you are a community of people?
I think people are more working on their own thing, and you don't visit people's studios or anything like that. I've been to somebody's studios, but not many people's studios. So, but because the house where we live is next to this house, so we meet quite often and we do things together and we have these parties sometimes. But you see people a lot.
Yeah, it's this artist's apartment block.
Yes.
Thing. Yeah.
So, and it's good somehow because it's you've got this privacy, but when you need something or you need help or maybe you need some tools, or you can always go and ask.
Oh, but that's pretty nice.
It's really good. Yeah, it's kind of special.
Is that something that's important to you, or can you just do? If you would have been in another normal apartment block by yourself and not your own studio? Do you need those people around?
No, I don't need definitely, but I normally get to know my neighbors somehow because it's nice to get to know people who live next door to you. So yeah, but it's not that important, but it's nice because it's nice. I like it somehow.
I mean, you say your studio is too small. How much small is it? How many square meters?
This is 28.
28.
Yeah.
But it's pretty high as well. I mean, a lot of those square meters are above us.
Yeah, it's about 4.5 meters, I think. And it doesn't
look
so small.
You can easily have a second floor here.
Yeah, I could, but I don't want to lose the space. Because it's like, wow, it's this air above your head and it's like, yeah, it's so nice. I actually went to see some other studio and I said, no, I can't because this is so nice.
It does feel nice to have space.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Have you always had a studio?
No, I haven't had always a studio. When my daughter was born, 98, I didn't have a studio then, and then I had it for a couple of years after that, but I didn't have time to go there, so it was many years I didn't have a studio. Even I think I tried to think how long, maybe 15 years I was without studio.
Oh.
And that's why I went to this live art and performance, because I couldn't afford to have a studio. And also I was a single mother, so it's like where you get the time to go to studio and
another level of difficulty.
Yeah, so it's like I managed to do different things, but I was doing art all the time, but maybe different way, and in a kitchen table also. But I made also sculptures in my toilet, so
wherever.
Yeah, but it's possible, but it's not easy. Of course, it's lovely to have a studio.
Yeah. Have you shared a studio with other people?
Yes, sometimes, yeah.
Do you prefer to share or to be by yourself?
I like this privacy, yeah. Because it's like I don't feel comfortable when people are looking at the work is unfinished, and I think the space is so intimate. It's most intimate space. It's more intimate than your home. So you spent probably the same amount of time, but actually your wake time. Yeah.
In the studio.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so private. So it's like, yeah.
Thank you for letting me in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what would you say is the most important thing in the studio for you? What's the best about it?
Silence, privacy, light.
It is very bright. I don't know if it's going to show in the video, but
yeah,
the window is giant. and it's super sunny outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be problematic also because it's so much light sometimes, but...
Well, you have a good shade, so...
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it helps. Yeah.
You also have a green thumb. There are so many plants here.
Yeah, it just got a bit out of hand.
It's flourishing.
Yeah.
And also you have, outside of the studio, you have like a small garden patch.
Yeah.
And there's a collection of feathers as well.
Yeah, those I've been collecting always, so since I was a kid. I have used them sometime, but I have used them with a painting. And those are prawns, which are next to the feathers.
What are those?
They are just sculptures. I like the shape. They've never been exhibited anyway, but I'm thinking about how to display them.
Do you use sketchbooks for?
Yes, I do. A lot, actually. My sketchbooks are like this.
Verbal sketching?
Very much verbal. I don't draw so much. Sometimes I draw. But this is from when I started studying at Lahti. This is from 80s, actually. 87 or something like this. Or I don't know why I have kept them. Some of them I have kept, but...
Oh, but that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Do you go to exhibitions?
Yes. Yeah.
What are some of your favorite places to see exhibitions?
Favorite places to see exhibitions? Maybe if you were talking about Helsinki. So, Photobox. I like the space, it's nice. Sculptor and... no, I don't want to name it actually. It's difficult.
Yeah. I mean, it's, of course, you might forget something. It doesn't mean that you don't like it.
It's not fair for the... I say this place and this place, because it depends. But I go quite widely in different places in Helsinki.
Do you prefer to go to galleries or to museums?
Yeah, I like to go to galleries, but and why I like to go there is it can be more surprising, the work, what you see in galleries, somehow. Of course, I like to go to museums also. What
are some artists that you are inspired by, or whose work you like?
Paul Gauguin I used to like a lot, a painter. Marina Abramovic is one of those characters who has affected me a lot, but Richard Long, it depends also where you are. And Joseph Beuys I like a lot, and also Cy Womply. I like Yoko Ono's thinking.
On the website of the podcast I have a page for these recommendations that people give for artists.
Okay.
So I'm gonna put them there, the names.
Okay, wow. All right, okay.
But you can see also what other people said.
Yeah.
It's a list of
something, yeah.
Of people who have inspired other people.
Yeah. But I think I've been affected by the books more than fine art actually, with my work somehow.
Then you should share some books that affected you. What are some books that are worth reading?
Leo Tolstoy.
Okay.
And then I read some Peter Höeg, I often have quite many books open at the same times. But some books you just have to read them so quickly you can't get them. Or put them out of your hand. It's just... Yeah.
Do you reread the book?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Yeah, and then you have a different understanding. And yeah, with the poetry also, I noticed when I read something when I was young, and when I've been reading it again, it's always different because your thinking is moving and changing.